Welcome back to the channel and lovers of rare Australian currency. In today's episode, we're going on a thrilling hunt for one of the most iconic and widely recognized coins in Australian history, the 50-cent coin. But not just any 50-cent coins. We're uncovering the top 5 most valuable 50-cent Australian coins of all time, based on year, condition, rarity, and the current roaring action in the collector's market. These coins may look ordinary at first glance, but they hold secrets, stories, and value that can completely transform your perception of everyday change. Some are so rare they've become legends in the numismatic world, while others quietly rise in value with each passing year. So, whether you're a dedicated coin collector or just someone who's ever held one of these uniquely shaped coins in your hand and thought, could this be worth something? This video is for you. Let's get started. First up, the 1976 Australian 50-cent coin. Though it may be scarred and circulated, this humble coin carries more than just face value. It holds the weight of history, the strength of design, and the thrilling potential of turning a forgotten relic into a million-dollar opportunity. Let's rewind to the era that birthed this coin. The year was 1976, a time of global transitions, economic shifts, and national pride. Australia, steadily building on the decimal currency system introduced in 1966, continued to mint coins that embodied both heritage and resilience. That same year, the Royal Australian Mint issued yet another batch of the signature 12-sided 50-cent coins, crafted not just for commerce, but for symbolism. This coin wasn't just a means to buy a sandwich. It was a powerful emblem of Australia's cultural and economic identity. And today, the 1976 edition sits quietly in history as a vintage collectible, waiting for rediscovery. Now let's talk about design. On the reverse side, the coin is a spectacular showcase of Australia's sovereignty. The Australian coat of arms, designed by the legendary Stuart Devlin, graces its surface in fine detail. Two majestic creatures, a kangaroo on the left and an emu on the right, stand proudly beside the central shield. That shield itself is divided into 6 sections, each representing one of the 6 Australian states. Above it all, the 7-pointed Commonwealth star beams with authority. And even though your 1976 coin might be circulated or damaged, many of these artistic details still survive under the wear, like a historical painting beneath cracked glass. Every worn-out line carries decades of stories, and that adds character. Flip it over, and you'll find the obverse, featuring the classic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This version of the Queen, with her regal tiara and youthful elegance, became one of the most iconic royal effigies in Commonwealth coinage. This was the image used on Australian coins from 1966 to 1984, a powerful connection to the early days of decimalization. In damaged or circulated coins, the Queen's features may be worn, but this version of the portrait remains recognizable, like a timeless stamp of a royal era gone by. For collectors, it adds a nostalgic depth, a connection to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II that is now part of numismatic legacy. In terms of specifications, the 1976 50-cent coin remains faithful to the formula that made the denomination iconic. It's minted from a copper-nickel alloy, comprising 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it both durability and that distinctive silver-gray color. Even in damage, this alloy resists corrosion and maintains its shape. The coin weighs a solid 15.55 grams, boasts a diameter of 31.65 millimeters, and features that unmistakable 12-sided dodecagonal edge, which not only provides tactile uniqueness, but also allows collectors to instantly identify it among modern coins. While many have circulated heavily, their original form holds firm, a testament to the strength of their make. So what about mintage and rarity? In 1976, the Royal Australian Mint produced approximately 25.5 million of these 50-cent coins. That might sound like a lot, but consider the time that has passed. Nearly 5 decades later, countless examples have been lost, melted, or degraded beyond recognition. The number of coins still in existence, especially those with identifiable features, is far smaller. Even more rare are those that survived with errors, misstrikes, or unusual features. And for seasoned collectors, even heavily circulated pieces with visual interest or unique marks are worth examining. A damaged coin may still hold hidden numismatic value, especially if it tells a story. Let's dive into market value and demand. A 1976 Australian 50-cent coin in damaged or well-circulated condition may fetch anywhere from $1 to $4 Australian dollars on average. Already a decent return for something considered scrap by most. But here's where things get exciting. If that coin contains a rare mint error, like a die crack, cud, off-center strike, or double rim, its value can skyrocket to $50 to $300 AUD or more, depending on the error's rarity and visibility. Furthermore, any coin that's been slabbed by a professional grading company, even in about good condition, tends to perform better at auction due to credibility and authentication. Why is there demand for even damaged coins? Because collectors know that not all value lies in shine. Sometimes, it's about historical relevance, rarity, and design continuity. The 1976 50-cent coin is part of a critical time window in Australian numismatics, bridging the gap between the early decimal years and the explosion of commemorative issues in the 1980s. And unlike modern coins, which are often minted in mass numbers with consistent perfection, these older coins reflect the imperfections and unpredictability of older minting technology. They're more human, more real, and that's what gives them charm. And let's not forget the emotional factor. This is a coin that might have passed through generations of hands, maybe even your parents, grandparents, or ancestors. It could have been used in schools, at corner shops, in old post offices, or even passed over the counter during historic events. Every nick, scratch, and smudge is a fingerprint from Australia's living memory. When collectors and enthusiasts find a 1976 coin, they're not just buying metal, they're acquiring a piece of the past. And in a world obsessed with fast change, having something that endures is priceless. So here's the million-dollar question. Could your damaged 1976 Australian 50-cent coin make you rich? The answer might surprise you. If your coin has an exceptional mint error, or if it was part of a low-mintage anomaly batch, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Even if it's just a standard circulated coin, demand from set builders and nostalgic collectors could bring unexpected returns. And if you've held on to a few over the years, or inherited a handful from a relative's collection, the combined value could reach into the hundreds or even thousands. It's happened before, and it will happen again. Never judge a coin by its scars. The 1976 Australian 50-cent piece, even in damaged and circulated condition, is a shining example of how value, history, and beauty can endure the test of time. Its bold shape, powerful symbolism, and lasting legacy have earned it a spot in the hearts of collectors around the world. Whether you're a beginner, a dreamer, or a serious numismatist, keep your eyes open. Because in your hands might lie a forgotten fortune, hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone like you to recognize its worth. Next up, the 1981 Australian 50-cent coin, a silver-shaped icon that could make you a millionaire. In a world where treasures are often buried under our very noses, sometimes it's the most ordinary objects that carry extraordinary value. You might pass it off as just another 50-cent coin, tossed in your glove box or lost in an old coin jar. But don't be too quick to judge, because that dull silver coin from 1981, especially in very fine condition, could hold the kind of value that turns casual collectors into millionaires. The 1981 Australian 50-cent coin isn't just a piece of change. It's a symbol of heritage, a product of exquisite design, and a rare find in today's collecting landscape. And today, we'll unwrap the history, examine its eye-catching features, explore the market buzz, and uncover how it could be your ticket to numismatic fame and fortune. Let's start by traveling back to the year 1981, a time of economic transition and growing national pride in Australia. It was the year Prince Charles and Lady Diana got married, the IBM PC launched, and Australia continued to build momentum in its own coinage identity. The Royal Australian Mint was in full swing, producing coins not only for national use, but also for international distribution, especially for Pacific nations that relied on Australia's superior minting technology. Amid this backdrop came the 1981 50-cent coin, a classic yet undervalued piece that's now starting to get the attention it deserves from collectors and historians alike. Flip the coin and you'll find the unmistakable reverse design, created by none other than Stuart Devlin, the official goldsmith and jeweler to Queen Elizabeth II. His stunning portrayal of the Australian coat of arms is both bold and intricate. On one side, a strong kangaroo stands tall, and on the other, the proud emu, both guarding the Commonwealth shield at the center. That shield is divided into 6 segments, each representing an Australian state, topped with the iconic 7-pointed Commonwealth star. Even in a very fine condition coin, you can still see the sharpness in the creature's textures and the complex shield patterns. This isn't just a piece of currency. It's a symbol of Australia's unity and sovereignty, frozen in shining metal. On the obverse, you'll be greeted by the elegant image of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right and wearing her royal tiara. This portrait, designed by Arnold Machin, was used from 1966 to 1984 and is beloved for its regal yet approachable representation of the monarch. In a very fine condition 1981 coin, her features remain defined. The curls of her hair, the jewels in her crown, and the soft lines of her profile are all distinct. This gives the coin not only aesthetic value but also a historical link to a bygone era, making it increasingly popular with collectors who appreciate the charm of early decimal coinage. Now let's talk specifications. The 1981 Australian 50-cent coin is dodecagonal. That's a 12-sided design that's instantly recognizable. It's made from a copper-nickel alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it that distinctive silver sheen and long-lasting durability. The coin measures 31.65 millimeters in diameter and weighs a sturdy 15.55 grams. Its bold shape and size make it one of the largest circulating coins in Australia, and its texture ensures it stands out in any pocket or collection box. Unlike many coins that wear down fast, this alloy maintains its integrity well, even after decades of circulation. In terms of mintage, the 1981 coin isn't the rarest, with an approximate production of 32.7 million units. But here's where things get really interesting. 1981 was the only year Australia produced 50-cent coins both domestically and overseas. That's right. Due to high demand, coins were minted not just in Canberra, but also by the Royal Mint in London and the Royal Canadian Mint. That means there are subtle variations in strike quality and finish, making some coins from 1981 particularly attractive to error and variety hunters. Coins struck overseas often feature minor differences in rim thickness, edge reading, or even die alignment, details that keen-eyed collectors obsess over. So, what's the current market value of a 1981 Australian 50-cent coin in very fine condition? While standard circulated examples may sell for $1 to $3 Australian dollars, coins in very fine or better condition can easily fetch $5 to $15 Australian dollars, depending on the strike clarity and eye appeal. But this is just the beginning. If your coin shows signs of a rare minting error, like a rotated die, off-center strike, clipped planchet, or even a double rim, values can soar dramatically. We're talking $50, $150, even up to $500 Australian dollars or more if the error is certified and sought after. Some coins graded and slabbed by PCGS or NGC in high grades like MS65 or higher can demand prices north of $1,000 Australian dollars, especially if they're one of the rarer international variants. And why is there so much collector demand for a coin like this? For one, it's a bridge between the earlier post-decimal era and the rise of Australia's prolific commemorative coin programs in the mid-1980s. Secondly, it's part of the golden generation of coins bearing the Machin portrait, now cherished more than ever since Queen Elizabeth II's passing. And third, it's the rich international minting story of 1981 that makes this coin a must-have. Collectors often try to build sets featuring coins from all mints, including subtle die differences, an endeavor that's both challenging and rewarding. It's also worth mentioning that numismatic interest in 50-cent coins has exploded in recent years. Thanks to social media, YouTube, and coin forums, more people are learning to look past face value and appreciate the art and rarity behind each coin. That rising demand has driven up prices and increased competition, meaning that today, a coin like the 1981 50-cent piece isn't just desirable, it's hot property. So what does this all mean for you? If you're holding a 1981 Australian 50-cent coin in very fine condition, don't toss it aside. Examine it. Study its details. Compare it to others. Check for errors. Consider having it graded. Because in a world where millions chase overnight fortunes, this humble, 12-sided gem might just be your golden ticket. Whether you're a seasoned collector, a casual enthusiast, or someone who just found an old coin in a drawer, your 1981 50-cent could be worth far more than you think. The 1981 Australian 50-cent coin is a shining example of how history, craftsmanship, and hidden rarity converge into something truly valuable. It's more than money. It's a piece of art, a slice of heritage, and potentially a life-changing discovery. Keep your eyes open, your pockets checked, and your curiosity alive, because the next great treasure might already be in your hands. Next up, the 1998 Australian 50-cent commemorative coin, issued in honor of the 200th anniversary of the discovery of Bass Strait. More than a piece of change, this coin is a sailing scroll of Australian heritage. Featuring the bold, adventurous spirits of George Bass and Matthew Flinders, this coin commands attention with its design, inspires awe with its story, and ignites passion among collectors across the world. In excellent condition, it stands not just as a tribute to two fearless explorers, but as a potential goldmine for collectors, and yes, even a coin that could make you a millionaire. Let's set our compass for 1798, a pivotal year in Australia's history. Two daring navigators, George Bass and Matthew Flinders, set out on a voyage that would change the geography and destiny of the Australian continent forever. Aboard the tiny sloop Norfolk, they circumnavigated Tasmania, proving once and for all that it was an island separated from the mainland by a body of water, what we now call the Bass Strait. 200 years later, in 1998, the Royal Australian Mint honored this momentous achievement with a stunning 50-cent commemorative coin, issued into general circulation but now increasingly hard to find in excellent condition. For history lovers, it tells a gripping story. For collectors, it's a rare and valuable prize waiting to be rediscovered. Now turn your attention to the reverse design and prepare to be transported across time and sea. At the center are detailed portraits of George Bass and Matthew Flinders, looking stoic and determined. Their gazes seem fixed on destiny itself, capturing their courageous spirit. Below their likenesses lies a map of southeastern Australia, including Tasmania and the critical Bass Strait that separates it from the mainland. What truly sets this design apart is the charted path of their historic voyage, beautifully inscribed, winding its way across the ocean like a thread of discovery. Surrounding this powerful design are the words, George Bass, Discovery of Bass Strait, 1798 to 1998, Matthew Flinders, and in bold, proud text, the denomination 50. The reverse isn't just a tribute, it's a maritime monument minted in metal. On the obverse, the coin features the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This design was introduced in 1998 and is known for its realistic depiction of the Queen, including the age lines and a slightly more mature expression. Her royal tiara, detailed hair curls, and dignified gaze are crisply rendered, especially in excellent condition coins, where every contour of her profile remains sharp and distinct. This obverse marks the beginning of a new portrait era, making the coin even more significant to collectors who value transitional years and first appearance designs. As for the technical specifications, the 1998 commemorative 50-cent coin retains the iconic dodecagon shape, that 12-sided, unmistakable frame that sets Australian 50-cent coins apart from almost every other world coin. It is minted from copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper, 25% nickel, weighing in at 15.55 grams and measuring 31.65 millimeters in diameter. The broad, angular edges give it a commanding presence, while the metallic shine in excellent condition enhances the fine design work etched onto its surfaces. The build quality ensures it resists corrosion, making it a long-lasting collector's gem. But let's get down to what matters most for treasure hunters and coin collectors alike: rarity, value, and market demand. Despite being issued for circulation, the 1998 Bass Strait 50-cent coin was minted in relatively low numbers, especially compared to standard designs. With a mintage of just 22.1 million, it is considered a low mintage commemorative by Australian standards. Add to that the fact that many of these coins have been lost, damaged, or heavily worn in circulation, and the number of surviving examples in excellent condition drops drastically. That's where your potential golden opportunity begins. Currently, a circulated 1998 Bass and Flinders 50-cent coin can fetch anywhere from $3 to $10 Australian dollars, depending on where. But in excellent or near uncirculated condition, prices can climb to $15, $25, even $40 Australian dollars, especially among collectors trying to complete a commemorative set. Slabbed and graded examples certified as MS64, MS65 or higher by PCGS or NGC have sold for upwards of $100 to $250 Australian dollars, depending on eye appeal and strike quality. But here's the twist. Error versions or pristine examples in mint rolls can reach much higher figures, sometimes crossing the $500 to $1,000 Australian dollars market auctions. And if an ultra-rare minting flaw, like a double-die obverse or a clipped planchet, was to be authenticated, that coin could be the very one to catapult you into numismatic history. What fuels this growing demand? It's the perfect mix of commemorative significance, design beauty, historical resonance, and scarcity in top grades. More and more Australian collectors are shifting their focus from general issue coins to low-mintage commemoratives. And in that field, the 1998 base straight coin stands tall. Its bicentenary context, strong nautical theme, and inclusion of key national figures have elevated it from curiosity to coveted status. Coin dealers across the country report rising interest in this issue, particularly among younger collectors entering the hobby through commemorative coin hunting. On top of that, social media platforms and coin YouTube channels have turned the spotlight on coins like this. Coins hiding in plain sight. Coins with a story to tell and a market to reward. And as the 50-cent coin slowly phases out of regular circulation, demand is only expected to increase as fewer people encounter these gems in everyday life. So when one surfaces in excellent condition, collectors and resellers jump at the opportunity. So what does this mean for you? If you're lucky enough to own a 1998 Australian 50-cent base straight commemorative coin in excellent condition, take a moment. Look at the sharpness in the design, the clean fields, the shine that refuses to fade even after 26 years. You're not just holding a piece of metal, you're holding a legacy. And possibly, just possibly, a life-changing asset. Whether you're a passionate numismatist or a curious beginner, this coin is one of those pieces that deserves your attention, your research, and maybe even a spot in your most secure coin case. The 1998 50-cent base in Flinders coin is far more than just currency. It's a beautiful, meaningful, and potentially lucrative piece of Australia's maritime history. It celebrates the discovery of a geographical boundary that reshaped the nation and honors the men brave enough to chase it. Its design is visually stunning, its story is historically profound, and its collector value is rising every year. So check your coin jars, browse your folders, and explore your forgotten piggy banks, because one of these commemorative legends could be hiding right under your nose, waiting to chart a new course in your life. Next up, about the 2007 Australian 50-cent coin, a coin that may not be commemorative, may not glitter with color or unique shapes, but in the world of collectors, even standard issues in the right condition and with the right quirks can become gold mines. Especially if it's circulated but carries hidden errors, low mintage variations, or exhibits strong metal quality and historical context. This is not just a piece of pocket change, it's a potential portal to fortune. Let's start with the basic identity of the coin. The 2007 Australian 50-cent coin is part of the Standard Coat of Arms series, bearing the familiar design crafted by Stuart Devlin, the same master goldsmith who designed Australia's first decimal coins in 1966. On the reverse, the National Coat of Arms of Australia takes center stage, featuring the mighty kangaroo and emu standing tall beside a shield that represents the 6 states of the Commonwealth. This design is more than decoration. It's a powerful national symbol, and one that's engraved in crisp, commanding detail on the 12-sided surface of this large coin. In circulated condition, you might notice somewhere on the kangaroo's thigh or the emu's tail feathers. But even then, the design holds strong visual weight and remains recognizable across generations. Turn the coin over, and the obverse features the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, specifically the 2007 edition of Ian Rank Broadley's effigy, known for its lifelike detail and mature depiction of the Queen. Unlike earlier portraits, this one does not shy away from showing the Queen's age, marking a turning point in royal numismatic imagery. The tiara, facial lines, and expression carry a dignified realism that adds collector interest, especially now that Elizabeth II coins are being sought after in record numbers since her passing in 2022. In a world shifting to King Charles III coins, these late-era Elizabeth coins are quickly rising in sentimental and collectible value. Now let's get technical. The 2007 50-cent coin is struck in copper nickel, an alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel, known for its bright silver tone and long-term durability. The coin weighs 15.55 grams, spans 31.65 millimeters in diameter, and proudly holds the dodecagon shape, 12 flat sides that make it uniquely Australian. These specs are consistent with all standard 50-cent coins since 1969, but what sets each year apart is the mintage, the condition, and any quirks or varieties hiding within. In terms of mintage, over 22.3 million 50-cent coins were produced in 2007, not the lowest, but not the highest either. However, what makes this year interesting is the absence of any commemorative edition, meaning all 50-cent coins from this year followed the same standard design. This uniformity might seem unremarkable to the casual observer, but to seasoned collectors, it means any error, variation, or mint anomaly from this batch becomes instantly noticeable and highly valuable. Misstruck coins, die cracks, rotated dies, or even off-center strikes from 2007 have been documented and traded for serious amounts, especially in circulated coins that still retain strong metal structure and clear devices. Let's now talk about value and collector demand, particularly in the circulated condition you mentioned. A standard circulated 2007 50-cent coin is often worth between $1 and $3 Australian, depending on wear. But that's just the beginning. A coin with minimal wear, strong luster, or partial uncirculated features can reach $5 to $10 Australian, especially if sold with historical context or in bundles. And now comes the exciting part. Coins with minting errors, such as cud marks, double strikes, clipped planchets, or broad strikes, have been sold for $50 to $300 Australian, depending on the rarity and clarity of the flaw. In recent years, a few ultra-rare 2007 50-cent coins with major die clashes and rotated dies have fetched between $800 to $1,200 Australian at private auctions and on platforms like eBay and Downey's Collectibles. Beyond errors, some collectors also seek conditionally rare 2007 coins in excellent strike, those with perfect dodecagon alignment, full rim detail, and minimal contact marks. These coins, if graded and slabbed by PCGS or NGC at MS64 or higher, can sell for $80 to $200 Australian, especially when bundled in pre-Queen's Death era sets. Why? Because coin collectors know that coins from the last 15 years of Queen Elizabeth's reign are now in high global demand, not only in Australia, but in Canada, the UK, and across the Commonwealth, where loyal royal collectors are racing to preserve her legacy in coin form. As demand spikes for vintage and standard issue coins in excellent condition, the humble 2007 50-cent coin is finding its way into collections that once focused only on rare commemoratives. And that shift in the collecting community is powerful. It means that coins like yours, circulated but in decent shape, are being reassessed, revalued, and rediscovered. Dealers are offering premiums for lots of these coins in bulk, knowing they can resell to new collectors hungry to build year-by-year sets of Aussie decimals. So what does this mean for your 2007 coin in circulated condition? Don't discard it. Examine it carefully. Look for die errors, rim damage, misalignments, or anything unusual. Even slight variations can increase its value dramatically. And if it's a strong example of the year, free from major scratches or discoloration, you might have something worthy of grading, or at least bundling with other near-mint coins to increase its market pull. The 2007 Australian 50-cent coin, even in circulated condition, carries more potential than most collectors realize. Its bold coat of arms design, its powerful royal portrait, and its possible error-based value give it a layered appeal. It's part of a pivotal pre-commemorative stretch where fewer standout designs were issued, making it stand out to those building complete decimal sets. With the rising interest in older Queen Elizabeth coins and the ever-growing hunt for minting anomalies, this coin could be your low-key millionaire maker, if you know what to look for. So check your drawers, dig through your jars, and go through those old wallets, because your very own 2007 50-cent coin might just be a sleeping giant, waiting to take you from casual coin saver to proud collector, or even a surprise seller on the numismatic stage. And remember, one coin can change everything. Next up, the 1983 Australian 50-cent coin, a piece that may seem ordinary to most, but behind its metallic glint and sturdy 12-sided design lies a history rich with national pride, numismatic intrigue, and potential for serious collector value. If yours is in very good condition, you may be sitting on an undervalued asset in today's surging collectible coin market. Let's start with the basics. The design and specifications of the 1983 Australian 50-cent coin follow the standard layout established after 1969, when the original round 1966 silver version was replaced with a more practical shape and alloy. The reverse of the coin proudly features the Australian coat of arms, a powerful national symbol designed by the brilliant Stuart Devlin, a master goldsmith and the artistic force behind many of Australia's decimal coin masterpieces. The coat of arms presents a kangaroo and emu, two iconic native animals that can't walk backward, supporting a shield that represents all 6 Australian states. The shield itself is detailed with crosses, lions, stars, and flourishes that reflect the unity and strength of the Commonwealth. Flip the coin over and you'll see the obverse, showcasing the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, captured in the stunning design by Arnold Machin. This is the second portrait of the Queen used on Australian decimal coins, showing her youthful profile crowned in the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This image became one of the most globally recognized effigies of Queen Elizabeth and graced coins across the Commonwealth from the 1960s through to the mid-1980s. With the Queen's passing in 2022, coins bearing her earlier portraits have seen a spike in demand, as collectors seek to preserve the memory of her reign in physical form. The 1983 50-cent coin sits right in the middle of this collectible sweet spot, early enough to capture royal history, yet modern enough to still be found in collections and circulation. From a technical standpoint, this coin is a solid, weighty piece, struck in copper nickel, consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel, which gives it that signature silver sheen. It weighs 15.55 grams, has a diameter of 31.65 millimeters, and is 12-sided, also known as a dodecagon, giving it a tactile, recognizable shape that stands out in any pile of change. Its thickness is 2.5 millimeters, and despite decades in circulation, coins in very good condition still exhibit clear design lines, readable text, and strong luster in the protected areas of the coin. Now here's where things get truly exciting: market value and collector interest. While the 1983 coin was produced in substantial numbers, with a mintage of over 49.5 million, many of these coins were heavily circulated, lost, or damaged over time. Coins in very good condition, meaning minimal surface wear, readable lettering, solid edge definition, and clear details on both the Queen's portrait and the coat of arms, are now being pulled aside by collectors building date-by-date sets of Australian decimal coins. These coins, in today's market, commonly sell for $1 to $4 Australian dollars in very good condition, but they can command much higher premiums under the right circumstances. Where the real value starts to soar is in high-grade examples, those that have escaped the common knocks of circulation. Coins in extremely fine to uncirculated condition, especially if slabbed and graded by respected grading services like PCGS or NGC, can attract collectors willing to pay $20 to $80 Australian dollars or more, depending on the shine, strike, and preservation. But here's the real kicker. Coins from 1983 with minting errors or die varieties are incredibly desirable. These include things like off-center strikes, cud marks, doubling on the legends, clipped planchets, and rotated dies. In recent years, a 1983 50-cent coin with a major die break and full metal deformation sold for over $700 Australian dollars on an auction platform, astonishing both casual collectors and seasoned experts alike. Demand for coins from the early 1980s has also seen an upswing due to the increasing interest in Queen Elizabeth's legacy. As we transition into a new era of King Charles III coinage, collectors around the world are racing to secure pieces from the Elizabethan decimal period, especially those that represent her reign's midpoint. The 1983 coin fits this narrative perfectly, serving as a tribute to a time of transition and stability in Australia's coin history. This cultural relevance boosts not only emotional value but also market value, especially for buyers overseas. Let's not forget another hidden opportunity: bundled or series collections. Dealers and collectors often seek full 50-cent coin sets from 1966 to the early 2000s. If your 1983 coin is in very good condition, it can help complete a set, potentially making the whole set more valuable. Some bundled sets containing crisp, mid-range circulated coins are currently selling for over $500 to $800 depending on how complete and clean they are. Your 1983 coin could be the key piece someone's missing. So what should you look out for if you're holding one of these coins today? First, examine the edges. If the dodecagon is still sharply defined, you're off to a good start. Then check the obverse. If Queen Elizabeth's facial lines, crown, and neckline are cleanly visible without deep wear, you're sitting on a stronger specimen. On the reverse, look closely at the kangaroo's thigh, the emu's feathers, and the fine details inside the shield. These areas often show the earliest signs of wear and can help you determine the overall grade. Finally, inspect the coin under a light source for any unusual patterns, struck-throughs, doubling, or misalignments that could push it from good to extremely rare. In summary, the 1983 Australian 50-cent coin may not be flashy or commemorative, but it carries powerful design, strong history, and serious value potential, especially when found in very good condition or higher. With the right eye for quality and detail, a coin like this can leap from pocket change to high-dollar collectible. Whether it's through rare error variants, pristine uncirculated examples, or its place in the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II, this humble coin is a hidden treasure in the world of Australian numismatics. And yes, it absolutely could be one of those coins that makes someone a millionaire, or at the very least, helps build a collection that keeps growing in value. So before you dismiss it as just another 50-cent piece, take a second look. Examine it with fresh eyes. Because in the wild and wonderful world of coin collecting, every coin has a story, and sometimes that story can lead to a life-changing discovery.